Good evening. Thanks a lot for staying with us here at CNN News 18. You're watching Nation at 5 with me, Ridhima Bhatnagar. We're coming to you live from our newsrooms of CNN News 18. Lots to discuss over the next 60 minutes. But our top focus is what has happened and what continues to happen in Manipur. What essentially started months ago as clashes between two ethnic groups has now resulted in something extremely disgraceful and shameful. A video has now come to light of an episode that happened on the 4th of May, where two women were paraded naked and raped as well. There are other allegations of the victims' families being targeted as well. But as we pointed out, the episode happened on the 4th of May and it came to light only on the 19th of July. Till now, only one arrest has been made. And we here at CNN News 18, in fact, have accessed those first images of that only arrest that has been made of a man who's now been identified as Hira Das, and those images on your screens as well. But as I pointed out, what is extremely shocking is the sequence of events and how slow the action has been. Let's first bring in our colleague and senior editor Pallavi Ghosh, who is joining us on the broadcast. So Pallavi, the episode happened on the 4th of May. Video comes to light on the 19th of July. Within 24 hours, an arrest is made. It's already been over 2 months. We've accessed the first images of the man who's been arrested, now identified as Hira Das. What more do we know about the man who's been arrested?
Well, he's just the one who leaded the pack. If you in fact look at the video which was leaked out last night, he was the one who was right at the front and he was the one who was groping one of the two women who are believed to have been abused. And that's the main reason why he's been called the chief culprit. It is also believed that he's the person who could have masterminded or organized the entire strategy, because now more or less the agencies are convinced that it was a kind of a coordinated strategy, and therefore it was not just an impromptu mob which actually surrounded these two women, for example. That's really the critical factor. There are a couple of questions which certainly come up. Or can this be seen as an intelligence failure of the state government, that they were not able to be aware of this incident till that video surfaced? So what kind of a hands-on situation are they having? And that's where he's coming for a bit of criticism as far as the opposition parties go. But having said that, what is it that the state agencies and the central government agencies are doing? Well, they are working in a coordinated manner. Ever since this footage came out, we are being told by our government sources that the nodal ministries, the Home Ministry, the Prime Minister's office, in coordination with the state government, is trying to track down all those people who were a part of that mob. And with his first arrest, they feel that there is a breakthrough because they're going to use him, they're going to interrogate him, and also to try and get the addresses and the whereabouts of the others who were a part of that mob frenzy.
Yeah, Pallavi, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Thanks a lot for getting us those details. One arrest has been made, but the arrest has come too late in the day. Let's just break down the details of what are the kind of horrors that have played out over the last few months in Manipur. Let's first break down the sequence of events for you to understand the story better. This episode, the video that you must have seen, actually dates back to the 4th of May, when two women were paraded naked as a backlash of the clashes that continued between these two groups. It was only on the 18th of May when any action was actually taken and FIR was registered. But what was even more shocking in the FIR was the language that was used. It mentioned it was against unknown armed miscreants, despite the fact that the men were extremely evident and visible as far as this entire episode is concerned. But only on the 19th of July, that was yesterday, is when this video has finally surfaced, which means 2 months have already passed since this episode happened, and now one arrest has finally happened. On the 20th of July, some heads have rolled, and one arrest of a man, we just put out those images, who's now been identified as Hira Das, stands arrested. Authorities on the ground saying we're confident of arresting the others as well. Now let's talk to you in detail about what does the FIR say. As I pointed out, there was already a delay in filing the FIR itself because the episode happened on the 4th of May. The FIR was filed only on the 18th. What did it say? It said 3 women abducted from police custody by a mob. We're understanding the mob was anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 people. Women abducted just 2 kilometers away from a police station. Many questions being raised as far as the inaction and the lack of intent by police officials and other authorities on the ground. 3 women then are forcibly stripped naked in front of the mob. Many testimonies now coming to light indicating of what the victims had to go through. They were threatened, either you strip or there will be dire repercussions and consequences, many of the family members being attacked as well. A younger woman's brutally gang raped in broad daylight, her family members, as I pointed out, being targeted as well. Victim's father and brother killed on the spot. So the question is, if all of this happened just about 2.5 kilometers away from a police station, what resulted in the police authorities doing absolutely nothing? And also what the state administration was doing, how come they had no idea of all the horrors that were playing out? So what really are the big questions? The first big question is, why did it take 2 months for the chief minister to acknowledge the May 4th episode? He's gone on to now say that he's only come to know of the episode after this video went viral. The second big question is, why were there no arrests made despite an FIR that was in place since the 18th of May? As I pointed out, the arrest has happened only on the 20th of July. The third big question is, did the police not communicate to the state government as far as the May 4th episode is concerned? Was there absolute breakdown of communication between both the parties? Journalists and others have been able to track the victims. So what's led to the police not being able to act as far as these perpetrators and also speak to the victims to try and get their testimonies in place? And the fifth question is, was victims' family given protection? Because as we pointed out, as testimonies have come to light, it shows that victims' families were targeted as well.